second has to win, but he has taken down some giants. He beat Megabit earlier on today. Got a round of him. A fourth seed Megabit was, so now, in theory, Kurt kind of holds that fourth seed.
Here we go then. Kurt straight away in on goal here. Neymar! Big chance early on, and Hensoo, I mean, welcome to the party, buddy. Kurt's coming out with all sorts of fire at the start of this game. Beautiful second touch as well. And I tell you what, Kurt, he's certainly awake.
I mean, you said we had energy, but I think Kurt's got some energy as well. A little bit of fire in his belly. And I'm sure there are many fans that the Kurt fans are going to be watching on, hoping that he can progress, hoping he can get close to the final stages of this tournament so he can have that shot of the E-World Cup. Of course, he was there last year, and he only lost out to MS Dasari.
Well, there is the ball into the box here, and Kurt's Virgil van Dijk deals with it well there. And now he can go forward. Cristiano Ronaldo, beautiful first touch movement of the football here on the pitch from Kurt, and that's something that's kind of become a staple of what he's almost expected to see from him now, Dan.
I think we've all appreciated how Kurt has played in this tournament. He looks so good going forward, defensively knows how to play the game as well, and he's been resilient in situations where he has been down, where he has been out. I mean, in the game against Megabit, he was several goals down, a couple of goals down, but he kept coming back into it.
Well, maybe he's looking to take the lead here. A heavy touch out of his feet from Cristiano Ronaldo to use his pace to get away from the man. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't good enough, but Ronaldo gets back in here and actually wins a cheeky little throw-in on this left-hand side of the pitch.
One of the things Kurt did struggle with when he was playing against Megabit was holding possession, but he's had plenty of it so far.
And here's a cricketer as well to try and buy space, but just not finding that final little skill move or pass to unlock the defence so far from Hensoo.
And I wonder whether maybe Hensoo, after seeing those players around him eliminated from the competition and realizing that he is the next name on that possibility of getting into that 16th spot, whether that pressure is going to be a little bit too much. I'm sure Robinho and Zidane are going to be rubbing their hands together at the chance of Kurt knocking out Hensoo here. Because, of course, there is a lot more to do for Kurt if he were to take one of their spots.
Kurt moving forward here into that attacking area just outside the top of the 18-yard box. This is where his passing becomes so dangerous. There is that pass! But the goalkeeper movement was equal there from Hensoo, and he keeps Kurt at bay. Corner now. Neymar dancing his way inside the box. Have to be so careful inside that 18-yard box with those standing tackles, but Hensoo defends well. And R9's going to attack this space, but it only has possession momentarily.
Yeah, kind of ran into no man's land there, did Hensoo. Didn't really know where he was going. I was hoping he was going to maybe turn back on himself and be a little bit more patient, but he almost tried that attack a little bit early, but that does happen when you don't have much possession.
Neymar on the edge of the box here for Kurt. Takes a cheeky little pot shot from distance. Going to fall back to Neymar now. Vieira comes in and makes the tackle just about. Got enough of the ball there for the referee's liking. And now Hensoo's going straight up the other end and releasing Cristiano Ronaldo. Couple of accelerated fake shot, gets the ball up into the air. Neymar's arriving, it was green, but he couldn't beat Varane to the ball.
The back post headers have been Kurt's kryptonite through this event, and Neymar especially has rose above players. We've all seen him tweeting about it, but Hensoo not able to achieve that this time. As Kurt, though, will need to be aware of that. He needs to try and stop those crosses from coming in. Otherwise, he will be punished if he allows too many to come. But he has plenty of possession so far in this game. And it does feel like he really wants this one. You could just tell by his gameplay and by the focus that we're seeing on his player cam.
Hensoo looking to release Kai Havertz down that flank there. Well defended by Kurt. Varane manages to pitch the ball back as well. Now Hullet can step forward into midfield. Ronaldo, of all players, throwing his weight around there to dispossess Ruud Hullet. Almost felt like that tackle was from the wrong side of the player, but he somehow managed to wrap a leg around Ruud Hullet to pinch possession back.
This is better, though, from Hensoo, just floating the ball around the back four and being a little bit more patient with his build-up. Unfortunately, the patience doesn't pay off in this situation, but I feel like if he approaches the rest of the game in that manner, he will find chances.
And Hensoo's done so well to even kind of negate the storm that was the start of this game from Kurt. He had 3 or 4 shots in the first 3 or 4 minutes, to be honest with you, that he had to defend, and he's kind of grown into this game having weathered that storm. And that, again, that's something that can't be underrated, Dan. When you are under pressure, the ability to come through that period and keep the game close. Even if you do concede, keep the game close, give yourself that fighting chance.
Yeah, you have to. Otherwise, if the game gets out of hand and you find yourself 3-4 down, you just make it so much of an ask to get back into things, and it's very easy to let your head drop as well when you can go that far behind. So Hensoo's done very well, and of course he has plenty of experience. There is a reason why he is here, and of course he is the highest seed if we talk about the actual position where these players started before this tournament.
Well, the passing lane was just dissipated there by Kurt, and now Mbappe's inside the box. Beautiful pass, beautiful finish. And Kurt takes the lead, 1-0 to the man from Malta.
Yeah, vintage Kurt there. That's the stuff we expect from him. Just good vision, good reading of the play, and a nice fist bump towards his coach, Shells, who will, of course, be competing next weekend in the PlayStation playoffs. He is definitely a man to have behind you, giving you a little bit of advice over the shoulder, because I've been hearing that he's been performing very well as of late. So combining that with Kurt and Kurt's vision seems to be working very well. One
thing I love about the way that Kurt moves the ball is there's no second guessing. When he sees a man that's open, he hits that pass straight away. From the restart, though, and so he's looking to catch Kurt off guard, and he managed to keep his focus there. But what I mean is every pass is deliberate from Kurt. There is a thought behind it. And even there, the way that he moved the ball out wide and then immediately moved the ball into the middle towards Ronaldo. He's direct, he's effective. At the end of this first half, it's looking like he might take the lead. R9, Cricketta, inside the box. Again, you can see the idea behind it, a little give and go at the last second.
I mean, it sounds strange, but you can tell that Kurt watches football, and you can tell he appreciates football in how he tries to implicate that into his FIFA 19 game.
Might be a big chance here. Ronaldo scoop turn. Cricketta can't get past the man, and to be honest with you, Da Costa and Van Dijk kind of got in each other's way there, and it might cost Hensoo. Defender got in the way, though, at the last second. And I think that will be the half-time whistle at the end of the first half, and Kurt will take a lead in towards the second half.
And he's looked so comfortable as well. There's been very little chances on the other side for Hensoo, and Kurt now with a 1-goal lead. If he has the chance to build on that, if Hensoo starts to push up a little bit more, there's naturally going to be more opportunities for Kurt to play his way of FIFA, to get those kind of pass and move opportunities, and he could find himself 2 or 3 up, and now he's just having a little bit of word of advice from Shells there.
Yeah, always good to listen to a player who can just give you maybe a little insight that you haven't seen yourself, which is always fascinating. I don't actually listen in too much here because I don't want to hear what's being said, but even sometimes you're so focused in the game you can't take in the bigger picture, and to have those extra pair of eyes behind you, a professional player like Shells, it's invaluable, to be honest with you. We are really seeing the value of coaches being, you know, their stock is increasing every single event that we see.
It's just having someone else with a different perspective sometimes, whether you agree with their perspective or not, just to make yourself ask the question of, am I playing this game right? Am I approaching this correctly? It's important to have that conversation, because if you don't have a coach, sometimes you don't have that bit of self-absorbance when you start talking to yourself. I mean, we did have the situation where Tex for quite some time didn't have a coach and he was still winning events, but even now, the fact he's got that coach, we've seen the drastic improvements in certain areas of his game.
So then, second 45 is underway, as you can see here. And Kurt, again, is the man with control of the ball, and therefore control of the game. There's an easy ball out wide here, unfortunately for Kurt, though. The pass wasn't good enough to find the man. A slightly worrying sign there for Hensoo, how easy that was for Kurt to just break him down.
Great vision again, though, from Kurt. It almost seems like he's playing a game of chess sometimes, and he's always one step ahead of his opponent. Nice Cricketta to beat the man with Neymar, which opens up a lot of space in the middle, but it's so difficult to get away from the likes of Vieira and Hullett in the middle of the park.
The good news for Hensoo here, the German, is the fact that it's just 1 goal, and he only needs 1 chance. And we've seen games with a similar pattern to them before, Dan, where, you know, for all of the possession, for all of the chances, and possession in good areas of the pitch for Kurt, if you don't take that chance when it comes, extend that lead, it can come in to hurt you. Unfortunately, couldn't find Mbappe there on the overlapping run, and Hensoo can come away.
And sometimes that is the downside of having that vision and trying to predict the play, is you expect players to make certain runs or to stay in certain positions, but of course, as in any game, there is going to be an element of AI involved, and if they don't make the run you expect them to make, that vision and that pass you've tried to make isn't going to pay off. So a little bit unfortunate there for Kurt, but you saw what he was trying to do.
Great player switch from him there, using Van Dijk and reading that pass to make that interception. Pull it now into R9, wide here to Cristiano Ronaldo. Massive chance, and you just feel he could have gone right, he could have gone left, and he picked the wrong option, and oh, it could hurt him now. Neymar, Sergio Ramos is desperately trying to get back, and he can't.
Oh no.
I said how fragile a one-goal lead is. It could have been 2-0 at one end, but now it's 1-1.
And now we're going to have to see how Kurt can deal with that mentally, because he knows he had the opportunity to score there. He did guess the wrong way with right and left. He saw, as soon as he pressed that pass button, you saw his face drop. He knew he could have played it left. We've all made that mistake. And then just for the ball to go up the other end and go into the back of the net is just rubbing salt in the wounds. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow for him, but at least it's still only a draw. As Kurt now will take a little bit of time just to think about how he's going to approach these final stages of this game.
I think 2 ways looking at it. One is disappointment, disappointed to concede that. However, I think in his mind he knows he should be 2-0 up at this point. I think you've got to look at it from that way. But for Hensoo, we've talked about staying in the game, how important it is staying within striking distance. And that's exactly why you have to do it. You have to keep the games tight. You can't afford to let the momentum of Kurt run away in this game. Neymar, the scorer of that goal. And I mean, it's all good getting that one chance, but we have to give huge credit. He put it away as well, Dan.
He did put it away, and he's managed to regain possession here right from kickoff too. And that now is going to allow him to just start to control the possession a little bit and maybe start to make Kurt sweat ever so slightly. But the one positive Kurt can take from that whole situation was he created a pretty clear-cut opportunity. If he can carry on to do that, he is going to find more goals in this game without a shadow of a doubt.
Of course, this is just the first leg. Eusebio across to Hullet now. Maybe this is the chance, waiting for that run, and Hullet has to use every single sinew to get there. But fortune falls on the side of Kurt here. 2-1, he puts his hand up. He knows it was a little bit of luck going his way.
I mean, it was a shake of the head from him, and he does apologise, but it does happen sometimes as the ball just collides with a defender there. And Kurt gifted back into the lead. Some might say it was justice because he had that opportunity, but you could argue it was a mistake playing it right rather than left when he had that chance and that opportunity. But either way, he finds himself 1 goal ahead now, and Hensoo is going to have to go again to try and get back into this tie. Of course, it is still only the first leg of 2 in the round of 16. $10,000 on the line. The winner of this game will march on and secure themselves minimum 10,000.
That's big money. There's no other way to put it. There's more on the line for both of these players, and that's a shot from distance. And Hensoo tees one up. Smashes it out of the park. We've seen it a lot. Not much you can do about those unless you see it early. You move your keeper across. But it's 2-2 now. Game on.
A little scratch of the cheek from Hensoo. Knows it was a little bit cheeky, that one. Definitely a meta goal. But he ties it up. And Kurt's going to have to go again, and that's the power of Cristiano Ronaldo. That's the power of some of these foot items now that we have in the game. Ever since Team of the Year, when you get 99 rated players, they're going to have the ability to do things like that. Scary things they can do on this virtual pitch.
15 minutes left then, 2-2 in this game. It's amazing how it's just kind of burst to life, to be honest with you, as far as goal scoring is concerned. You can see laser focus on the faces of both of these players. Kurt, though, found his way into the box here with Eusebio. Couple of step overs, turns back inside. Big chance here!
Oh.
And he is just clinical in front of goal.
And Kurt just saying, there you go. There's a proper goal for you. Worked his way into the box. Beautiful on the ball, pass and move. Hullet nowhere, back of the net. And this game seems to have a little bit of everything. as he takes the lead again. How now will Hensoo respond? You can only go behind so many times before your head drops.
Kurt wins the ball back. Havertz has to do some defending here for Hensoo, and he's just being bullied by a couple of players. Kurt wins the ball back now, and you just feel that he could quite happily find another one here. 80 minutes on the clock, and Mbappe picks up the pieces. Finds Hullet. Quick one-touch stuff, and Neymar takes a strike from distance, but it wasn't good enough to beat the goalkeeper.
10 shots for Kurt, only 3 on the other side for his opposition, and you have to feel if Kurt can get 2-goal advantage here, he might start to run away with things.
But space here, though, for Havertz. And can he pick a player out in the box? There's a runner ahead of him, Vieira. That is special. I don't care what anyone says. Sometimes tackles and interceptions like that, they're as important as finding the back of the net.
That's why it surprises me we've seen Vieira not included in some people's teams at this event. We've seen the likes of Luka Modric come in. We even saw Cancelo at CDM as well. I think it was #Harry playing in there. But Vieira does so much on the pitch for me that he has to be included in every team because he is just perfect when it comes to running back, tracking and getting involved.
Oh, a little bit of a wayward touch there from Ruud Gullit towards the pinnacle of that particular attack, and Mbappe now is looking to release. Messi in behind. Pressure here from Hensoo. Trying to force the hand of Kurt, but I just feel like a high press game might actually fall into the hands of Kurt here with his quick passing.
Yeah, I think Kurt would actually like that because it will open up more gaps for him to just go for that pass and move style, but there's only 1 minute left in this first leg, and it is going to be a final attack for Hensoo here.
Dumfries will get back in behind there, and he has been an absolute rock in that right-back position, as well as Danny Da Costa for a lot of players. But after the first leg, it is Kurt who will take a lead towards the second leg.
A deserved lead as well, I would say. He could have been 2-3 up as it started, but Hensoo did very well to get back into the game and make it a real tie. And it's the tie we deserve to be.
Oh, we are back towards the end of today's action as well. We've got a few more games to come, but this could be potentially the last game of one of these players that we have on our main stage at the moment, their tournament. Kurt is the player who currently has the advantage as we move into our second leg. We're live, we're underway. Kurt currently 3-2 up on aggregate.
And all Zidane fans around the world, I'm sure, will be hoping that this scoreline stays so that Hensoo won't have the chance to try and pip Zidane from a top 16 spot. I've got to say, if Kurt wins this one, Zidane's chances of qualifying very high. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one as the tournament goes on, as a lot of the big names have stayed alive, which makes it even more difficult for some of the guys who are lower down on that leaderboard to actually get into that top 16.
Little change of kits here as well, just to point out to you at home. Havertz from distance to Hale with the save. Hensoo now playing in the white kit. And it's Kurt who's in that Inter Milan, his beloved Inter Milan home kit, I should say. First shot of the game went to Hensoo, though. And he's going to have to be the aggressor, looking for the classic front post header there and the front post run from Cristiano Ronaldo.
I like that, though, from Kurt. Heading it backwards. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but heading it down rather than heading it out.
He's completely in. He's in behind. The heavy touch from Ronaldo. Can he finish? Maybe at the second bite of the cherry. He'll take it. And he gives some credit to Hensoo for his goalkeeper movement. Unfortunately, the power and the pace of the shot from Ronaldo means it ricochets back to him. And hey, sometimes things, when they just go your way.
I mean, we usually say fortune favours the brave, and I'm going to take it all the way back to that corner. Rather than heading it out and trying to clear it initially, he's actually headed it down back to Cristiano Ronaldo, who was just there right by the byline. And then all of that play is generated from that. Most people would just spam the shoot button, spam the pass button, get rid of that ball, and ultimately give away possession. Kurt didn't do that, and he was rewarded because of it. Yes, okay, fortunate by the end of things, but I actually think we should commend him for that play.
And again, the ease of which he managed to break through Hensoo's defence, finding the run of R9, and now, again, moving forward. It's flowing, it's beautiful from Kurt. The only problem was the goalkeeper was in the way.
Yeah, Hensoo, he spotted that one, and he just moved the keeper across towards the the far post, and Kurt, unfortunately, had already pressed the shoot button and directed it by that point, so couldn't switch it up. But Kurt now has that 2-goal advantage that he's been searching for so desperately throughout this tie, and it's going to be a little bit difficult and different for Hensoo to get back into this one, because when you're only a goal down, you approach a game very differently, and also your opponent approaches the game very differently. But 2 goals, it becomes an entirely different matchup.
I'd have to agree with you. I think that Kurt's very much in control. One thing I love about the way that he's playing at the moment is he doesn't seem to be taking his foot off the gas either, to be honest with you. He's looking to exploit any space that's in behind still. He's still looking to add to his tally. And you think about how you want to pressurize your opponent. The best way to do that is quite simply scoring goals. Neymar then. Mbappe with a drag back. It will fall back to Neymar. Inside the box. Quick passing again. I don't even know where this is going, and it almost ended up in the back of the net. It's mazy from Kurt, this.
I mean, it's so difficult to keep up with those passes when you're defending. It's ping-pong passing at the moment.
Neymar then twisting and turning. And it will be a 3rd corner in a row here for Kurt. Again short. Neymar skips past Mbappe. Oh, look at the space here for Mbappe, and there's a reason there's so much space.
I think if that fell to Neymar, maybe he was still onside. So slightly unfortunate that Mbappe had locked onto it and took that ball off him. And only 15 minutes into this second leg, and already it's been explosive from Kurt, who really is looking to try and put this game to bed and secure his spot in the quarterfinals.
Well, here's Mbappe. Oh, that's a great run from CR7 as well, and it has been found here by Hensoo. Vieira. R9 now, out to Havertz. Such a dangerous player on either foot. Great tackle from Rafael Varane here, and the pressure again being applied by Kurt. And he's just reading this game so well at the moment. And look at the space here on the counter-attack. R9, Maldini has to step in. Hensoo now trying to apply some pressure, but again, Kurt's reading the game so well.
Yeah, and also a wayward pass and almost a through ball there for Kurt. And Kurt's even saying, well, how did that happen? How did Van Dijk manage to stop that one? The through ball just maybe not applied with enough power, but he's won the ball back.
And here's R9 trying to twist away from Maldini. Hullet this time intercepts that pass. Havertz. Got in strong twice there, Kurt. A little smile on his face because it was Cristiano Ronaldo of all players, and I don't think I've ever seen Cristiano Ronaldo perform a slide tackle. Right, either in a Manchester United shirt, a Real Madrid shirt, or a Juventus shirt. Hullet inside the box, Cricketta just to buy space. He's twisting, he's turning, and he has served it up on a plate again.
Easy goal.
I'm going to say it, this man, when he's inside that 18-yard box, he's special.
I mean, we've christened Tex the special one. We've christened Dax the artist. Are we allowed to call Kurt the entertainer? Has that been allocated to anyone yet? Because that's certainly something he does. He entertains. He plays FIFA that you just enjoy watching. It's fluid and it's beautiful. And now he has a 3-goal advantage and is cruising towards the quarterfinals. But good keeper movement from Kurt to counteract.
He had to be switched on there. Hensoo taking advantage of the restart situation in order to create that chance. And now you can see, well, that's going to be potentially given away there, actually. But Varane wins the header. I saw Cristiano Ronaldo lurking under the flight of the ball, and I just fully expected him to win it, as we so often see. But, I mean, sum up this performance so far. We've still got a long way to go down, but just how good, in the context of the tournament and people you've seen so far, has this performance been from Kurt so far?
I mean, he's just been relentless in the final third. He's scary when he gets that ball in those dangerous areas because of how quickly he reads the game and how quickly he passes the ball around. You don't have time as a defender to predict where that ball's going to go. You have to guess early. You almost have to try and think ahead of Kurt. But that's almost impossible to do as the ball goes out of play somehow, and even Kurt looks surprised by that one.
I think a little flick of the stick, unintentional flick of the stick there when you do the ball roll can happen. And you get that heavy touch out of your feet. I usually do it when I'm clean through on goal.
Are we talking about real life or in FIFA?
I'll let you guess. But anyway, Ronaldo inside the box here for Kurt. Oh, it's another great spot.
Oh. I mean, I don't know what that wrist action implies, but
you're right. He's the
way,
entertainer.
he is.
And quite simply, that reaction is, Are you not entertained?
Well, I am certainly entertained, and I'm sure many fans at home are as well, but someone who's not entertained is that man on your screen, Hensoo, as he is slowly but surely having his season eliminated. When we think back to Bucharest, when he performed so well, getting to the latter stages of that tournament, only to be toppled by some of the giants in the FIFA scene. His season will be over. He won't be able to progress to the E-World Cup if he loses this game. And as I said, the likes of Zidane, the likes of Fabinho, they're going to be watching, biting their nails off, thanking the Lords that Kurt's actually winning this game, because it's a much more difficult task for Kurt to take one of their spots.
4 goals behind now, Hensoo. He'll need one of the most special performances we've seen in the Global Series so far to continue his tournament run. But he has been met in this game, in this first half especially, with the irresistible force that is Kurt. Accelerated fake shot from Ronaldo. Dumfries again in that right-back position. He is just an absolute unit.
A lot of players came to this tournament knowing they needed to win, or at least needed to get to a final to be able to secure their spot at the E-World Cup. A lot of those players would have been thinking, all right, let's just actually focus on one game at a time, and if I get to those stages, maybe I can qualify. Kurt came to this tournament saying, I can qualify for the E-World Cup. I can win this tournament. And I think that's the difference that we've seen. And that's why we're witnessing a player who really wants this. And unfortunately, Hensoo has just fallen in this player's path.
Ronaldo out wide here to Neymar. Ronaldo almost manages to pick the ball back up off of the Brazilian as well. And now for Hensoo, we unfortunately couldn't string that pass together. 45 minutes. Stand between Kurt here and another step towards the summit of the mountain. What a story it would be.
I mean, even if Kurt moves on and reaches the quarterfinal here, he still wouldn't have as much Global Series ranking points as his opponent, Hensoo. That's how far he has to go if he wants to get to the E-World Cup. And I tell you what, he has definitely answered the critics of, is it possible? Can he get to these latter stages? I mean, the Swiss was hard enough. The grueling Swiss stage that all these players had to go through was so difficult. And you're only rewarded with 75 extra Global Series ranking points. But now, the further you get in the knockouts, the bigger the reward. The more those Global Series ranking points go up. And if you can get to the final, you get to that win. It is that last opportunity to qualify. It was quite simple for every player here. If you win this tournament, you go to the E-World Cup.
It is, of course, as I said, only another step up the ladder towards what Kurt wants to achieve here in Hamburg. It's a difficult road, but it's one that he's carved himself. But I think he's got a lot of fans who are pushing him to go all the way here, to force himself into one of those 16 places to qualify for the E-World Cup final. 45 minutes left. Hensoo got it all to do, and Kurt, when he's in this kind of mood, you just can't stop him.
It's almost like a training regime for Kurt with how he is just passing this ball around now and taking one-touch football. He does need to make sure he stays calm and composed, though. He doesn't want to give any sort of chance for Hensoo to get back into things. I mean, if we think back to Rafsu in the previous round, he was down, what, 4 goals? And he was able to come back into things, so you do have to be careful. You have seen stranger things happen.
Kurt again, just slicing open the defence here of Hensoo. Ronaldo using that cricketer to get away from his man. Turns back now, looks for the drag back. Well defended there by Hensoo. Now maybe a chance for the German to come forward. He's going to need to strike now, and he's going to have to strike quickly. But giving the ball away to R9 in those kind of positions, well, your task is tough enough. Don't make it any harder on yourself. Neymar, space here for Mbappe. Neymar can't quite beat the last man.
And you were speaking about the difficult path that's in front of Kurt. I mean, just the sheer amount of rounds he has to go through, but let's actually consider the players he has to face. If he wins this, he goes on to face, it's just F2 Tex. That's the #1 in the world. He'd have to take down Tex just to get to...
Of course he has to take down Tex.
Just to get to the semi-finals. If he gets to the semi-finals, he'd have to play either MS Dosari, Nicholas Razek, Dylan Mike, or Philip Abdi. I mean, all those players are just going to be phenomenal opponents in the semi-final as well. Such a tough bracket for Kurt.
Hullet on the edge of the box here. Neymar decides not to pull the trigger, just waits again. Baits out those players, putting pressure on the ball. Van Dijk out of position now, but the back heel from Neymar, a little bit disappointing. But just to go back to your point you were making.
I mean, if the stars align...
Of course it was going to be tough.
If the stars align, it would mean he'd have to play Tex, and if he beat Tex, he might have to play MS Dasari, so we'd have the rematch from the World Cup last year. And that would only get him to the final. He'd then have to win that final to get to the World Cup.
Hey, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who still believe that that's very much possible.
I mean, it is, and that's the beauty of it, and that's the beauty of getting a player like this in a tournament like this with this much pressure on their shoulders.
Also in this kind of form, because this has been, with all due respect to Hensoo, an incredible player. His second leg's been one-sided so far.
It has, yeah. I mean, Kurt has dominated the game. He's dominated possession. He's had fun just playing the ball around, and he's actually been counteracting the ways that Hensoo's tried to score as well. I think that's what's been good. The goalkeeper movement has been on form for Kurt, and it's very important.
Potential chance here for Hensoo, though. De Gea, great handling from the Spaniard just to pluck that one out of the sky. Mr. Miyagi in a fly. Here goes Kurt once more. Eusebio doing the defensive work to get back.
20 minutes remaining, well, 17 if we're going to be precise, and you can't see it happening. 4 goals in that time, and I think the look on Hensoo's face as well suggests that even he knows maybe this is too much of an uphill battle, as his palm was in his, or his head was in his palms for a very brief period there. And now he just looks on and looks at his tactics screen saying, okay, I have to throw everything out the kitchen sink forward and hope that maybe I can get a goal at a time and just work on a goal-by-goal basis, and who knows? I think I saw it was Mo Alba who scored 5 goals in like 7 minutes once.
Yeah.
That was quite spectacular.
It can be done. We just don't see it done that often. But winning the ball back like that might well help. Well defended again by Kurt. And Kurt's use of the second man press is something that's so impressive as well defensively. It's almost Tex-esque the way that he's chosen to defend in FIFA 19, but he wins the ball back again here, R9. Neymar into Vieira. You can see Kurt just running the clock down now. Not taking any undue risks.
And I mean, let's address it, shall we? Tex versus Kurt. How do you think that's going to go down? We literally have the most informed player throughout this season in Tex versus one of the most popular players this season in Kurt. How do you see that one playing out?
I'm letting the gameplay speaking for itself at the moment. Because Kurt, well, I'm going to be, I've missed him. I've missed this gameplay. This is what he can bring to the table. This is how entertaining he can be. And this is what a threat he can be. But going back to your question, Dan, I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, I'm going to be honest.
I just want to watch.
If I'm in Tex's shoes, I'm going to be a little bit scared with how Kurt's been playing this tournament. He's looked so good going forward. But in terms of qualification for the E-World Cup and what this does, I mean, before we got into the round of 16, when we were still in the round of 32, we had Levy, we had Fenomeno, we had Hensoo, we had Painter, all with the chance of maybe breaking into that top 16. Now it's left down to just Painter, who is the closest competitor. And maybe a consolation goal for Hensoo there as well. Just a little bit too late for him, unfortunately, as he will pass on that baton. And Rebel Painter, who goes up against his teammate Rebel Stokes tomorrow. And suddenly the pressure's on his shoulder to try and get into the top 16. Can he run the gauntlet? Can he be the one to make that run and make those upsets? It's such a difficult task for all those now left trying to compete for those spots.
Anything that he's earned here at the Xbox playoffs as part of the FIFA Global Series is completely and utterly deserved for all of these players. And Kurt at the moment, He's looking like one of the players that we certainly have to talk about as being one of the most dangerous left in the tournament. Tex has been amazing. Dasari, what we would expect.
And actually, I'm very excited to see Dasari and see how Dasari performs, because like Tex, he went a little bit under the radar on day one. We didn't see him on the stream. And that's going to be a penalty as well, just to rub salt in the wounds. But we have some giants left in this tournament. Tex, Dasari, Kurt. Just to name a few. I mean, I don't think anyone would be smart to try and predict this one.
I knew he was going to do it.
It was so obvious.
We call him the entertainer, and that's why. We knew he was going to do it.
Well, the controllers are down, and there we have it. I mean,
what a shot that is.
Are you not entertained?
What a shot that is. Fantastic stuff. Kurt moves on. The dream is still alive for Kurt and his army of fans. Fantastic stuff. Commiseration.